Hi friends, it's Barbara Ardall, and I'm here for another cozy rocking chair knit and chat. It's Monday, just after lunch, and the 17th of June. So hi, and welcome. So today I will be showing you my works in progress, some updates on those, plus my sock knitting, which is a little bit ahead of schedule, which is really good for me. I'm also going to just share a little bit of what's going on here up on the mountain as we come into a very hot week. So before we get started, maybe grab your cup of tea or coffee. I've got some iced coffee here that I had left over in the fridge. Nice. With some sugar-free vanilla. And I'm thinking, let me just see. I might put my glasses on. How's this? There I am, ready to chat. So let's chat first, and then I'll pick up my knitting. So one of the things I've done is I've outlined what I want to work on this week and set it up as not really a bingo card, but kind of a bingo card. So you'll see that on the thumbnail. The things and a corresponding number. I've got a die that has 9 sides. So I roll the die. That'll tell me the extra thing I'm going to work on. I'm always going to be working on a sock. That's a given. It takes me about 45 minutes to do one row of a sock. And then the rest of it, the die will tell me what I'm working on. And I think that's kind of fun. So, but first of all, and today I'll be working on this later, is, gotta reach, my northeasterly shawl, which is a major work in progress, as you can see. And it's just getting bigger. That's half, right? So you can find the pattern on Ravelry. I really enjoy it. And there's YouTube videos on how to connect them as you go. So that makes a big difference as well. So from the top, kind of all the way down. So it's getting big, it's getting heavy. So I'm not sure how many more strips I'll want to do. But we'll see as I get along. I don't have to stop, right? Just because. The other part of that are my daily spindle spins that I did through the winter. It was 100 days of spindle spinning, and I've used some of them already. But each one is just a little bit, and it will do anywhere between 2 and 6 or 7 rows, depending on how much I have. So that's the stash I'm using to finish that, which is kind of fun. And my charity knitting is a prayer shawl out of this thrifted yarn. Let me see if I can just bring this up a little bit. It's Stephen West Boneyard shawl, which I really enjoy working on. Unknown fibers, I have no idea, but it's very soft. And I want to make it as large as my balls of yarn will go. I'm on the second ball, and I believe I have 1 or 2 more. So I'm just going to keep going until I run out of yarn. That's basically what that is. So that's on tap this week as well. And also continuing with, I'll just reach down because, reaching down is what I do, is my whatever sweater, which I just connected by accident with my stitch marker. So I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this progress marker keeper is where it was the last time I showed you. So I haven't done a whole lot on this. I try to do a row a day, but that hasn't been happening because I got behind on my socks and then I had to catch up. So it's top down, the whatever sweater, and you can search for that on Ravelry as well. And this is Briggs & Little. and it's just absolutely wonderful. I know it feels a little coarse right now, but I also know that once it's washed, it'll soften up a little bit, and it's a single ply Canadian wool. So I'm enjoying that, although I haven't finished a sweater since I can remember. The other thing I'm working on are some English paper piecing. I need to cut out some hexies for that. I'm also crocheting some hexies. Trying to figure out whether I like that, whether I don't like that. I'm not really sure. So, but the main thing, are my socks. So these are the heel toe do-si-do that I've been working on, and again, you can find that pattern on Ravelry. This is for summer camp, sock camp for summer. So a gusset, did a heel and gusset done, and then the toe, working with 64 stitches, 20 rows for the cuff, 60 rows here, and I believe I went 66 before I did the toe to make sure it was big enough for me. This is the hand dyed that I did a while ago, and this is my work in progress. So I use Knit Companion to track my rows. I don't know whether you use anything. Do you use a notebook? Do you just go by what you see? I'm not really sure. I think I've done 9 rows so far today. I try to do 12 rows a day. That's the plan. And I will just keep knitting here while we chat, or while I chat, because, you're not really here with me. But that's okay. I can talk to myself just as good as anybody else. I do enjoy this pattern now that I've kind of got it in my mind. It took me, a little bit to memorize the pattern. It's only a 2-row repeat, and anytime you've only got 2 rows to remember, it's just zipping right through. The other thing I just want to mention again is this yarn. Like, this is really nice, and I'm going to be dyeing more of it. So, excuse me, if you're interested in some hand-dyed sock yarn, let me know, because I will be working with these sock blanks and just seeing what I can do creatively. I do have dandelion flowers in the freezer that I'm going to use to create a natural dye. These are dyed with food coloring. I've been looking at commercial dyes. People ask, well, will the food dyeing remain? And it does. The only time I've seen anything that hasn't really stayed for me has been a shawl I did. It was a shawl along back in 2005, 2004, 2005 maybe, and the colors are now fading. But it was we got it right from the shearer, and it was so much fun to do. The last little bit was done in Katahdin. The rest of it was done in a mixed breed. So it's not the softest shawl, but it's the first shawl I did with all hand spun, hand dyed. And it was dyed with Wilton's Violet, which is my favorite color to dye with. And the deeper colors have gone more gray. And I think some of that's because it's been in the car and the sun will fade it. Well, the sun will fade any garment if you hang it outside in the sun, or if you leave it in the sun for too long. So I use vinegar as a fixative. If I'm using Kool-Aid, not so much vinegar. Kool-Aid, of course, has citric acid in it. And not always easy to find here in Canada. Amazon does carry some, so you can get those. You can't use the pre-sweetened ones or the sugar-free ones or whatever, because then you end up with that in your dye baths. So, and a little dab will do you when it comes to the Wiltons. I do enjoy working with them, even to the point of, oh my goodness, it's on my fingertips again. But they're working really well. I'm just noticing as I look outside that the sun tends to be kind of in and out. There's a bit of rain in the forecast coming up, maybe a bit of thunder, I don't know. But it's Monday and it's my Sabbath. So today I got up and did my normal morning routine, worked in my journal, wrote some things down. I'm starting a new 30-day challenge for myself, and I'll talk about that in a separate video. I set up the bingo for my weekly, or this week anyway, fiber work. One of the things that was on that list is spinning. I do have quite a bit of spinning here still to do. And with Tour de Fleece coming up, I want to have a good plan for spinning. And I've got lots of fiber in the house. I was going to go get some, and then I thought, no, I've got too much here to work with. I need to get cracking. So have you ever felt like that? Like that you have enough of whatever it is that you're passionate about, that you're working on in your hobby life, and then decide, well, you know, the money can be better spent or differently spent, not necessarily better, but differently. So I kind of decided I won't. If I get anything, it'll be sock yarn. But I don't even think I'll do that, because I do have lots of sock yarn here, and if anything, it'll be sock blanks to do some dyeing for a craft show coming up the end of October. So I want to do some colors that represent autumn as well, maybe a slightly heavier weight for mittens, that kind of thing. Yeah, so those are my making plans. I do have some fabric and a pattern to make myself a skirt and a top, so that's on my summer, oh my goodness, I need to do this list, because it was there last summer and I just had to tink back a couple stitches there because I missed something. There we go, back on track. And again, you know, you don't want to go out and buy more, and I've been told at the church that there's fabric, so if I want, I can have a look and see. I also have picked up a baby quilt that's been sandwiched and ready to be quilted, so I'll be working on that off and on all summer as well. It's not on my list for this week though. No, not this week. And I'm thinking about the new Stephen West sock along, the mystery sock. Haven't quite figured out what I want to do with that one yet. I've got sock yarns I can use. I don't need to buy any more. But his designs are always kind of interesting. Last year's was too busy for me, so I didn't follow through with that. And actually had my husband frog it for me, because no, it wasn't me. I enjoyed some of the stitches, but the overall sock was too busy for me. I know a lot of people did them, and I've looked at them, you know, on Instagram, and they're absolutely stunning. So, but I think this heel-toe do-si-do pattern is my new favorite. I really, really like it. I also have Tracy's 401 sock recipe, which gives you different options and different needle sizes and different wools and or yarn weights. So I may go back to that from time to time just to vary things up a little bit. She did a beautiful pair of socks with a cable down the side, and I'm thinking, ooh, I haven't done socks with cable, so I may do that. I just might. And for my birthday last week, I was gifted a Zen Doodle coloring book. So I will be spending some time doing that. I also picked up a book at Chapters Now Indigo called Daphne's Garden, or Daphne's something or other. And I'll share more about that another time, but it's out of the UK and it's beautiful, and it has all sorts of ideas and things you can cut out and work with. And it's not knitting. Some of it's drawing, some of it's painting, some of it's embroidery. It's just all over, and it's so much fun. So much fun. So I got that for one of my birthday gifts. That and the Diabetes Code Journal. I followed Dr. Jason Fung for quite a while now. And when I saw this journal at the bookstore, I thought, I'm going to get it, because it outlines things a little bit better for me. And I know from my own experience, I haven't been, well, isn't that interesting? I haven't been tracking my food as much as I once did. So it's time for me to go back to tracking and seeing what's what, and all of those neat things. Because you can't change what you don't measure. You need to measure things, right? At least that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm trying to fix a stitch here, so be patient with me for a moment. Nope. Do it this way, because I want the green on top. There we go. Nope, that didn't work either. So I think I'm going to have to put this down and come back to it, because this one stitch is not doing what I want it to do, and I don't know what I did. So friends, there, maybe that'll work. I don't know. Anyway, there, I think I fixed it. Or I fixed it kind of. You gotta have a flaw in the sock somewhere, right? That's kind of my theory on knitting. There's gotta be one error somewhere. Keep you humble, all those neat things. Anyway, I guess that's all I really have to share with you today. I hope you've enjoyed sitting with me for a few minutes and maybe picking up your own knitting and working away. I have to go back in and figure out, okay, what did I really do wrong here? Because I can't tell. There you have it. I think I will have to do that. But there you go. I hope you have a wonderful day filled with whatever blessings you see around you. And there's always something to see, isn't there? There's always a bit of a blessing at your fingertips if you just look for it. I hope your day is wonderful. I hope your week is wonderful. And may your crafting go smoothly, bring you joy, bring you peace. And until next time, bye for now. God bless.